What's going on,
All
good
right.
people?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another Homebuyer Academy Live. How's it going, bro? How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, brother. Um, just checking in with everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Checking in for another episode. How are you doing today, my bro?
I'm doing blessed, man. God has been good all around,
God
all the
is good.
time. God is just good, man.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
of course, y'all know me. I'm your host, Maurice I. Jones. Gotta put the emphasis on I because I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? They
This
ask
guy.
why the I's in the middle. It's because I'm just kidding. And then, I got my bro with me, Chad. How's everything going? I already said how's everything going, but like really, how's everything going?
Yeah, man. Everything is blessed, brother. Everything is blessed, man. We are here, here to serve, here to give information, here to really work with people through challenges that they might be facing, so that we could get them on the other side of their home buying journey. Man, I got to tell you, brother, I've really been, leaning deeper into this space of helping people to buy it, keep it, and pass it down. Right? When we
Mm.
talk about real estate, the pursuit and the acquisition is just the first phase of the journey, because this is a legacy play. This is a generational play, and we really want to start to talk a lot about what it looks like to help people to be empowered around, not just buying, but also protecting the home that they buy. And then from there, being able to, it's time to eat. Okay, my baby keeps on telling me it's time to eat. I know we having dinner late tonight, but come. It's my baby
Mm.
Kalia. Come on.
That's what we. That's who. What we doing for?
This is what we
Hey,
do
baby
it for.
girl. Hey, Kalia.
Who's that? Who's that? Uncle
That's a.
Mo.
Oh, you doing all right? Yeah.
All right, mama. So I'm gonna come in a few, okay? All right, cool. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's why we do it, man. We do it for the legacy play. And
Mm.
one thing that, close the door, sweetie. No, close the door. Yeah. So one thing is, in buying a property, that is an amazing feat. That's an amazing thing. But then from there, what are you doing to make sure that as you get acclimated into home ownership, that you're taking steps to secure the property so that you could pass it on in a way that's going to be seamless? Right now in our communities, a lot of families end up losing real estate to different uh, scams in some cases, lack of preparation. But what we're going to be building out over the course of this journey is making sure that we address each phase of that home buying process. But tonight, we're talking about start where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start where you are, because the circumstances will never be perfect, but getting started can have the circumstances be exactly what you need them to be.
That's really good, man. Because I'm thinking like just like in our in the course, the starting place for it is the mindset. So before we get into the like the meat and potatoes and the really really deep good stuff, we start off with mindset. So starting off with where you are, and checking in on that mindset piece is so
Right.
crucial. Even to the points that you just made about like all the things a lot of our people in our community are facing. I think part of that comes down to the mindset because there's scammers out there. There's like you said, there's the stuff that's happening in the news and media, but depending on what you internalize and receive and choose to believe, it will result in your outcome. So we
Right.
got to change that way of thinking. We got to change the way we view it. And just like the highlight, I'm gonna toss it back to you, but just made me think about the last couple of workshops we did and the last couple of networking events that we did, and we're
Yep.
just talking to people about what we do, and it's just commonality of like, I don't want to buy because I want to be, I might be house poor, or I heard this about why I
Yeah.
should buy. I heard this about, and I'm like, who told you that?
Yeah, a
Right?
lot, a
Like,
lot of what people, a lot of people operate from fear, because this is, I have to give people credit who actually start and finish this process, because when you think about how many different moving pieces there are in the home buying journey,
mm-hmm.
there's credit, there's income, there's understanding budgeting, there's understanding neighborhoods, there's understanding negotiations, there's understanding contracts, there's understanding how to actually close. And when you think about it, it's built up to the point that it could be like a college. You should get college credit for it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
significant journey and it's a significant process. So we never want to make people feel as if there's something wrong with them if they can't see it all the way through. But what I would say is a lot of the times we operate from fear. We're looking at what we don't have or what we don't know, and having our future decisions be really guided by that. And what I really want to offer is if you start with where you are, we could just work on incremental steps and incremental progress that by the time you look back at where you're coming from, you'll see that you could have a huge gain in credit. You'll see that you could have a huge gain in how much money you have to put down. And then also a lot more certainty with where you want to be if you're set up with the right people that are helping to nurture your process over the course of the journey. So,
Exactly.
really be open to the idea of starting right where you are.
Now, what would be like a first step? Because you just gave a lot of goodness in what you were sharing just now, but but a lot of people can just we can just
Yeah.
say start where you are, but how can we kind of figure out where we are and then start? Because sometimes starting is the
Yeah.
hardest part because we don't know
Starting
how
is
to
the hardest part, right? It's absolutely true. Now, how you start is, think about it. When somebody goes to apply for a mortgage and they get denied, right?
hmm
There's really no place. They're just floating in the air and hoping that they end up in the place that they want to be, but there's no intentionality or no certainty in the next step. What I recommend you do is to find out where you are and why you're not there yet. And all that means is you could start by speaking to a mortgage professional. That's the best place to start because a mortgage professional is going to look at your income. They're going to look at
hmm
your credit. They're going to look at how much money you have to put down. And that's going to really guide how much you have to be able to purchase. And I see Mama Mac is in the building. How you doing? Your name McFarland. Love to see you in the building. But that's gonna really be the starting point for you because when you hear no, right? It's like when you start working out and you step on the scale. The scale is going to tell you your starting point, but you
yeah.
already set the goal. And because
hmm
the scale might not tell you what you want to see ultimately, it's just going to be the driving force that gets you to work
hmm
towards getting where you want to be. So, in your first conversation, if you hear no, you're just stepping on the scale. And at that
hmm
point, you're now measuring how far you are from your goal. So your credit score is where it is, but you need a minimum of a 580 for an FHA loan. You need a minimum of a 620 for a conventional loan. And you're going to need about a minimum of a 640 to be able to qualify for programs like Hometown Heroes and other down payment assistance programs. That
And so,
lets you know
oh,
where you are. Yeah, go ahead, Mo.
no, I was just gonna do a caveat there because that's like a lot of good information, and we talked about last week where like we've been in the industry so long that we don't know what people don't know. So I just wanted to throw in
Right.
Home Buyer Academy there because that's like a lot of good information. Again, just a shameless plug for homebuyeracademy.org. That if you didn't take a quick moment to write down what was said, or like you're getting all this information and you're like, where can I get more information? Just wanted to plug in homebuyeracademy.org, and that's what we
Yeah.
do. We teach and we give and we share this information. But sorry if I cut off your flow
No,
on
not
that
at
thought,
all.
but
Homebuyer Academy, I mean,
shameless
like,
plug. Yeah.
and that what makes it. That's what makes us unique, right? Because when you go to a mortgage broker and they tell you, "No, we can't help you," they can't do anything for you. Stuck like Chuck. But like Mommy Max says, know your as is to get to your to be goal, right? There's nothing wrong with being where you are as is because that's ultimately going to guide you to your to be goal. But
Mm-hmm.
a lender can't help you. A realtor can't help you at that point that it's a no. But Homebuyer Academy, that's exactly what it's designed to do. We fill in that void where uh, you might be short with credit, but we're going to be able to guide you, not in terms of just what the score has to be, but what you specifically have to do in your unique case to get you to the point that you get to qualify, but not just qualify, but meet also the standards of what you need, whether it be down payment assistance or seller's concessions. These are parts of the fabric that come together just by you being brave enough to
Mm-hmm.
face it and see and say, okay, cool. No doesn't define who I am. It just says where I am. Right. But then from there, we work through the journey step by step.
Yeah, well, with you sharing that made me think of like it got me thinking of like what are some reasons that people may not start, and it made me think of like people facing like their own reality. Like
Right.
people don't check their credit score because they're scared they're gonna see like 540 or five or
Yeah.
520, something bad, something scary. So like they avoid the information, and that gives them a reason not to deal with it. But the scary thing is facing that. That's like the planning, the evaluating. Like when you go to that bank and they see where you're at, then you know how to create a plan to move forward. That's like when you do anything. You mentioned the scale. When you go to the doctor, they're like, you have this
Yeah.
health condition. Then you're
Right.
like, okay, now I have the information that I need,
Exactly.
and start making a plan from there. So it's a big piece is overcoming that
Overcoming
fear,
that fear.
and that's a
Right.
big thing. I think that might be the subtopic for tonight is overcoming that fear, because it is a scary thing when you have to,
Really.
point the finger at yourself and say, "Yeah, I made bad decisions." What the inner thing in me is always maxing out my credit cards, always spending every last dollar I have from check to check. What is
Right.
it that happened in my life that I need to change? Because even always correlate the word of God into it. Even it talks about renew your mind daily. Romans 12 talks about renew your mind daily. We're encouraged to make this practice every day. So it's not like a one time you listen to one podcast from Homebuyer Academy Live. You gotta go to homebuyeracademy.org every day. You got our weekly, daily information. You have the Homebuyer Academy course, our webinars. Shout out to Chaz. It's going live this Friday. We're still going live
This
Friday,
Friday. Yeah, we have going
right?
live this Friday.
But I'm giving all this in repetition, speedily to you guys because I want to show you guys that we do this on repetition because you guys need the same information on repetition. When you see it often, we share testimonies, we share other people's stories, and when you see that, you start to believe it, you start to receive it, and then you're not as afraid to face yourself and say, okay, maybe I can, because this person had bad credit, but they was able to get a home. This person got a home and they put nothing down. And we share these stories because everyone starts somewhere. And you have to be able to start where you are.
100%. And I was one of those people. After the recession,
Mm-hmm.
man, uh, I used to get mail, right? And it started out white, and then it started turning yellow. Then it would be blue. Then it would be red. And this is the mail when you're not paying the bill, and then like collection mail. And
Mm.
at a point, it just started to bother me so much because the mail's coming. So I call my cousin and I'm like, yo, bro, I just don't know what to do. I'm so broke right now. And they keep on sending me mail. And he's like, yo, let me ask you a question. Would you pay it if you had it? I'm like, yeah, of course. So he's like, so just throw it away. Right? My as is starting point was so low that it was leave it alone until you're ready to face it.
Mm.
And what that did for me was that it just gave me the peace of not
Mm.
stressing over the fact that I didn't have it because it was like a double-edged sword. The fact that I owed the money and then the fact that I didn't have the money, it like really compounded and it would stress me out crazy, right? So when I let go of the fact that I couldn't pay it and I accepted that that was where I was. And inside of that acceptance of where I was gave me peace. Where was it where I wanted to be? No. But in me accepting it, I was able to at least say, I'll get to it when I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I got to face the I'm broke. And I started to take on steps to change that part of it. And when I got more financially um, aligned, right, I was able to then go back to the debt and wipe it out.
Mm.
And I didn't look at my credit for so long because I just knew it was bad. But what happens that is over time, credit just fades away. And even things that felt like it was everything in that moment, give it time and they don't even remember you or they don't even remember to harm your credit anymore. So even if you feel as if it's bad, take the time to first off accept where you are, wherever that may be. And then once you've actually starting to get back a grasp of where you want to be, go ahead and face that. Because once you face the monster, you'll see that it's nowhere near as scary as you thought.
So I got a follow-up question for you then, Chad. Just cause you shared that experience, and we're talking about starting where you are. For you, if you can recall, do you know like that moment that like you in a sense moved forward, got it together, but you never went back? You know, because I'm
Yeah.
looking at like the man I see before me, but I know that story. So it's like at some point, Chad became a different person, and because you became that different person, you know, now you're getting different results. Like I imagine you're not going to put yourself in no situation like that
Well,
because
listen, I've had ups and downs. Life, you know, what I find is that the less obedient I am to God, the less I have control over the outcomes. The more obedient I am to God, the less I need to be in control of the outcome.
ooh, that's a
But
that's a
the
good one.
moment that really shifted it for me was this book right here, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. I know it's probably
Okay.
backwards, but The Seven Habits by Stephen Covey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, so down, so low. But I read this book and I really took time with it and I studied it and I read through it and I started to apply those teachings into my life. At that time, I didn't really come to the word and I didn't really well, actually, probably shortly after that, I started getting into meditation. But where you are doesn't necessarily have to be your finish line, right? So you said that you don't see me making mistakes. Listen, man, I've had
Well,
major
not make, but
issues.
well, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying, but I've had major issues as recently as 5, 6 years ago, where I
Mm.
didn't know what was going to happen. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I was homeless 8 years ago. Not for a long time, but thank God for my grandmother's couch. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Real talk. Like it was hard just 8 years ago. Right before I came to Orlando, I was sleeping in the car. I was
Now, is
sleeping in the car in
this the same?
California.
Okay. No, 'cause I was gonna say
That's-
because you share your story about like grandma's house. Is this the same
Nah,
one?
I had two
Okay.
grannies, and God bless both of
Okay.
my grannies. My first granny got us started. My second granny held me together. Like just the house that she had, like it was a safe space for me because, yeah, I
That's
remember
awesome.
I had the green screen, right?
Mm.
The green screen to shoot videos. That was my blanket in California, and it got cold at night. But yeah, I was sleeping in a rental car for like maybe a week
Mm.
or two, like 2 weeks, bro. I was sleeping on my boy's couch first for like probably a good month, and then after a while, I'm like, yo, all right, man. I wasn't ready to be out, but I wasn't gonna just stay there.
Mm.
But then I ended up coming back to. I came to Florida, and I
Mm.
started on my grandma's couch, and that was just, bro. That was just 8 years ago, bro.
Oh wow. Now look at you. Look.
Yeah, son. And that came from me not willing to be to not me not being willing to accept where I was because I was in a relationship, and I'll be, candid, where I saw the possibilities of what this relationship could be, but it was a surface relationship. Like it didn't have the heart to it, right? And I'm a very heartful person. And I didn't listen. I didn't listen to God, yo. I mean, I didn't listen. I didn't listen because it was very clear. I've never heard God speak to me so clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't obey. And when you don't listen, you can't dictate how bad it gets. It just has to go where it has to go. And that was my experience. I had to go into a deep, dark place that took me, man, took me a very long time to get out of.
Mm.
And it wasn't a financial decision. It was a life decision because
Mm.
things were going great before that. I was doing very well. And then I made a decision, and it wasn't a decision out of it was a disobedient decision, straight
Mm.
up. And I saw something that God didn't see, but the reality is I didn't see what God knew, and I
Mm.
didn't have faith. So what I would offer to anybody listening that comes across this is to pray, get close to God, and have Him order your steps. When it comes to this process of home ownership, pray. Pray, because whether it's credit challenges, whether it's income, whether it's money to close, pray.
Mm-hmm.
And once you actually feel, right, or hear, or however God brings it to you, be obedient to what you get and then go with that.
Yeah, and that's really good because like me personally in this current season I've been really studying Proverbs to kind of end the year like really seeking God's wisdom, and you made me think of like one thing that's been coming back is expectancy, and when you really have that relationship, like, if you let God guide you and you have that spirit of expectancy, you move with expectancy, then you can hear His yes and no's more clear. Like if
Right.
you want to be, for example, we are passionate about um, everything real estate, right? So if we're sharing this information, we're sharing our personal stories, like Chad just shared here tonight, and from that you can see that you can really start anywhere and then go after your goals because it's bigger than just real estate. It's just like about your personal life, like just to shift, just a pivot, just slightly. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever you're facing in life right now, you have to start somewhere. If you want change, it starts with you being willing to change, but you also have to expect that you're deserving of the better, that you're deserving of the new, that you're deserving of being a
Mm.
homeowner or losing that way or finding that special relationship or whatever it is, finding that business partnership that changed your life in your time of need, right? Finding that lane that where God says yes, and then be okay. Because I was talking with some friends the other day, and we were talking about how God will put opportunity in front of you, and sometimes we will like pray for some things, but because we weren't ready because of ourselves, God will show us what we missed out on, because like that might not have been like the opportunity for us, but God will present it to us like a house. God will present that house to you, but because you weren't prepared, you missed out on that opportunity. But had you done what you were supposed to do according to God's plan for your life, that could have very well been for you. And so even causing that shift in mindset, you have to be willing to shift that mind daily. And as you seek God, listen for His yeses, listen for His nos, and then trust the process. Trust the process. So when you're like, I want to become a homeowner, and then you see a live video of Homebuyer Academy live, and you're like, oh, well, God, send me another sign. And then you see an ad for homebuyeracademy.org, free webinar Friday. And then you're like, God, send me another sign. And then you walk to a networking event, and you run into me or Chad, and you're like, hey, this is what we teach. And you're like, okay, God, I guess I'll see what I can do to make those next steps. Like that could be your story. It could be anyone's story. Whatever it is that you're looking to, look for that sign, but trust the yes, trust the process, and trust that, whatever is for you is for you. God wouldn't give you an idea. God wouldn't give you an inkling. God wouldn't give you a desire if He didn't want you to pursue it.
Right. And I can't tell you how many examples, but hold on, I see in the comments, Mommy, Uname McFarland says, obedience is better than sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. I'm going to have to meditate on that one. Faith comes through hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I got to tell you, I've had so many cases of people who they didn't believe. They really didn't believe because all of the evidence said no. The credit score said no. The bank account said no. The income said no. It all said no. But they had this desire on their hearts. And man, I have to tell you, I'm not for everybody. I'll tell you that straight up. I'm not for everybody because I'm a man where it's like once I'm committed and I'm locked in, I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm not letting go until, you know what I'm saying? I'm
I
done
get that.
doing what we got to do. And when it comes to this process, I know that people carry the weight of the world in so many different ways, but ultimately, if you found your way to me, if you found your way to Maurice, if you found your way to Homebuyer Academy, there's a way. There's a way for this to happen for you. And we're here to take the time. What I'm not interested in, though, is having to keep on fighting against the doubt, having to keep on fighting against the no's in your spirit, because that's the devil. And the devil is a liar. Jeez, this just turned into a whole ministry, but let's
Right?
go.
It's on the whole circle, man. Let's
But
go over,
it's
man.
true.
But
It's true.
yeah.
That doubt, that thing that tells you, oh no, let's go ahead and self-sabotage this process.
Yes.
Man, listen, even if it doesn't work out, your credit would be better, your income's gonna be better, your savings is gonna get better. Your worst case scenario is better. So at least start to get better. And then from there, a house should come along with it.
Yeah. Every time we self sabotage comes up in the home buying process, man, I keep thinking about that story that you shared months ago, like when we were first getting started, about the guy who at the finish line bought a car.
Man,
Like, sorry,
that
like
was the craziest
if you
thing.
really know like the process, like if you're at the closing table, don't add anything new to credit. Okay, just a side
Yeah,
note
once you
there. Don't
start,
add
just don't
anything
even
new to
use
your
your credit.
credit
Yeah, today,
when
starting
you're
today, let's like starting right now with Christmas
well, yeah,
around the
starting right
corner.
yeah.
Let's chill. Kids love
Yeah.
you. They'll love you if you don't give them the greatest thing. They might huff and puff a little bit, but they be all right. Give them dinner, or don't give
Yeah.
them dinner, and then give them. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Go see the Christmas lights in your area. Go catch a free show. Like there's
Yeah,
a
go
bunch
do
of
some free stuff, man.
give them
Get
the
creative.
mental experience of Christmas. Like let's bring
Yeah,
back the
yeah.
mental experience because
But yeah,
you don't
hey
want to.
guys, listen, before we go too
Yeah.
much further, go ahead and please like this video, subscribe, go ahead and share this with your family members and friends. Go ahead and put somebody, tag somebody in this video, and grab your seat to a webinar right here. We're going to be breaking down Homebuyer Academy and how you could actually take advantage of it to have it help you get to home ownership. Because when your lender says no, Homebuyer Academy is where you go. We'll get you ready. It's like home buyer camp. You'll be ready to go in a matter of months, a matter of years, whatever your journey is, we'll get you there.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this is good, man. I feel like I feel like that was a very fruitful
Yeah.
conversation, and I just love when it just flows like that. And I know we both got to get back to the fam, so
Yeah, no
we're gonna leave
doubt.
you guys in suspense.
You
Hopefully, y'all
already
got
heard
enough.
Kalia tell me that mommy said it's time to eat long time ago. So my dinner's cold. We got ackee and saltfish and ackee and okra. I can't wait to get to this food.
Man, I made this nice spaghetti, man. Like I ain't just buy the sauce. I made like the homemade sauce, like my wife used to do, bro. That
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
about to crush it,
it's probably not as good, but edible.
but it is
Because
edible.
those
Yeah,
hands were
me and
gifted.
Josh crush it, so.
So before we leave, you got a comment in the you have a comment. Hear the word of the Lord tonight. No matter where you have been in the
Mm.
past or what you have been through, your testimony, your failure is your launch pad to success, to home ownership.
Come on,
Yes.
come on.
Yes. Thank you so much for that one. Thank you so much for that one. Yeah. Put up the other
And
just
I'm gonna end with this comment and let you close us out, Chad. But with that mindset right there, look at I was in the word like since we're going in, I was in the word and I was thinking about the blessings of Abraham. I was teaching the kids about Christmas and how it was fulfillment of the word that came before, like all the way from the blessings of Abraham and the last blessing that needed to be fulfilled was Jesus coming here, right? And Christmas time and all of that. So I was teaching the kids about that, but it made me think about what we're doing, like what you're setting up now. Like God's giving you a promise now, home ownership, legacy, wealth creation, all those kind of things that we're teaching you how to do it. In a sense, God's way is going to set you up for your lineage down the line. And so I just wanted to drop that seed, like the same way, like if he's promising you something now, it's not for you, it's for your children, your children's children. And we're just the ones that are going to teach you how to get that going. God gave you the promise, but he's going to send you to the people that's going to show you how to get that promise fulfilled.
And there we go. We'll leave it at that. So thank you so much for joining us for another Homebuyer Academy Live. Join us again next week, Tuesday, around about 7:30 BPT. But we love you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to hit either one of us in our comments, in our DMs. And if you can, hit that QR code to save your seat for the webinar or schedule a consultation with us. All right. So peace, love, and home ownership.